All right, what it do, everybody? It's your boy LOG from Where There's Smoke. Uh, been behind on the content. I gotta admit, I've been lacking. I'm disappointed. I've been wanting to go live and/or record a video and, you know, do my thing here that we do at this channel. It's fun for me. Those of y'all who watch, I'm sure y'all enjoy. Uh, and I just been busy with personal life. I'm trying to kind of get my little business going. Side note, if anyone related to that, if anyone needs electrical work in Central Texas, holla at your boy. Uh, that's my day job, so to speak. Been doing electrical since 2015. So yeah, just been really putting a lot of energy and time into that and trying to uh, yeah, just make that grow, make that shake, help the customers, do research for them and, just get that all going. So that's where a lot of my time's been going lately. But yeah, I've been wanting to get on the channel, talk my shit. There's been like an overload of Trump news. He has something coming out like every other day, literally. And if not every day. And I was already somewhat behind in the beginning of the year. It kind of threw me off. He was going that quick. I haven't even had time to cover like normal other stuff in the culture and give commentary on it. But where was I going with that? When Trump started hitting every day with stuff to talk about, that really threw me back. And then I got sick, like I think second week in February, and that really also kind of threw me off schedule and threw me back and got me behind. But I know I've covered that a bit on the channel already. So let me make sure everything is good with the audio, video. We're on Rumble, we're on Kick, we're on YouTube. Last time I live streamed on YouTube, they took it down. So we'll see how it goes today. Fuck YouTube censorship. Uh, they were taking me down because they didn't want me showing copyrighted material during a live stream. But I don't remember if I discussed this on our channel on the channel or not. But I was live streaming to Rumble, so that allowed me to save the live stream, download it, and then I re-uploaded it to YouTube. And after, how would you say, disputing the one of the copyright claims, I was actually able to post my most recent live stream. So it's not as much they don't want you because you can use stuff like that under fair use, but when you live stream, they're a lot less tolerant with what they will let you use under fair use when it comes to certain copyrighted stuff. Mostly like the NBA is a big one, and like sports talk shows, but like politics, they don't seem to care if you just use that stuff. So I don't know. That's what it is. I kind of had told y'all on the channel it was going to force me to make more like pre-recorded videos, and I am going to continue to do that, but I've just been slacking lately. Like I said, I've been real behind with I got sick and then trying to get my business going. And anyway, excuses, right? So let me check out the audio and video real quick. I already have it pulled up. Yeah, Rumble looks good. Kick looks good. YouTube looks good. So anyone tuning in, y'all get in the chat. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the topics that we're covering today. And if you've seen anything in the news recently that you thought was something crazy or fun or new or whatever, or something good to talk about, throw it in the comments. Today's kind of I've been saying this a lot lately, but I have a lot of my streams this year have been real impromptu without me having a lot of stuff. And even when it's not impromptu, it's still like I just have a couple videos that have kind of in the cut, and I have a few in the cut today, but I haven't watched many of them, and I want to try to do that with y'all here, react and see a video and react to it the first time here with y'all instead of me taking it in and that video getting my initial reaction, and then maybe when I watch it here, it's not as a genuine or original or like candid reaction. So I kind of want to react to stuff or view it the first time here on the channel and get my genuine initial reaction. So, but yeah, if y'all see anything, one thing that sticks out to mind that I wasn't thinking about covering, but it just popped into my head right now, that's kind of a new thing. But the topic is kind of like an old thing as of recent, is with the Steve Smith sleeping with some guy's wife and then that guy like blowing it up on the internet. We might cover that if we have time, but I just thought that was like there was a little much with all the red pill stuff from like 2020 to like maybe 23, 24. But that's why the red pill is important when you're a man and your wife cheats, just take the L as hard as. And I learned this lesson hard, but like if you get cheated on or get betrayed by your significant other or whatever, just leave. Take the L and leave. You trying to like stick it out or expose them or whatever. It's never gonna be anything that bears fruit. You might as well just get away from the poison and rebuild. So, um, anyway, uh, that's the thing about red pill knowledge too. You hope it's gonna prevent some guy from going through heartache, and pretty plain and dry. But anyway, y'all let me know if y'all are upside down on the Steve Smith thing where and that's Steve Smith. He was a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers for a bunch of years, and maybe one or two other teams, but that was the main team that he was a big deal on. Uh, so y'all let me know if y'all heard anything about that situation. Let me check the chat real quick. Nobody in the chat. Yeah, y'all let me know. Like, have y'all heard about that? Thoughts about that? Do you think that's the kind of situation that the red pill is trying to forewarn and why the red pill is important? Any comments, thoughts on that? Y'all let me know. I was just previewing a couple beats, just kind of I saw them on my YouTube homepage. Let me pull it up real quick. And so I was just kind of I saw a couple beats on my YouTube homepage. Uh, do a little rapping on the side too. Me and Joey. Y'all know Joey Flex, friends of the channel. That's them Syntax boys. That's kind of our tagline. Along with live from the living room. But we do it for fun. I feel like we're definitely better than we started out being. But anyway, yeah, I take this channel like well, I take rapping seriously too, but like I feel like the channel and me debating things and talking and discussing things is something that I really have a talent for. Whereas rapping, I like it and I have fun, but I don't know if I'm actually what you would consider like talented when it comes to people like, you know, I don't think I'm terrible, but I don't think I'm G Dollar level or really, really good. So anyway, it's just kind of a little side hobby. But I was checking out a couple beats, so we'll just check them out here. I'll play like a couple seconds and just see what we think, and then we'll move on to the political stuff. This is kind of like a Detroit beat almost. I could definitely catch something on that, but it's not something I would typically be like super drawn to. I'm not really feeling that one. Anyway, like I said, and then I was watching an Ace. He was talking about a former Call of Duty dev speaks about skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty. So I haven't watched any Call of Duty content in like a month or more, and I haven't played Call of Duty in like a good month or more as well. So they pissed me off when they banned me for like cussing. I would say fuck every time I would die, and they banned me for that. Even when I was in a private chat with my brother only, they still banned me from the chat for that. And then with skill based matchmaking and the lag, and then banning me from chat, the combination of it, all three, was just like I'm over it. So I saw this guy that said the Rock situation is crazy. I feel like I had seen something about the Rock recently, so maybe let's watch a little bit of this, see what he says, and then we'll move on to like some Trump. I have a Trump video. I have a Neil deGrasse Tyson video. I have an Elon at CPAC video. And then I have a Trump with the, I believe, Prime Minister of France. Whoever runs France, him and Trump are in the Oval Office talking about stuff. And that guy kind of corrects Trump on something. And that kind of made headlines recently. So I have 4 videos kind of tabbed up other than this. And I have 2 other beats that I was kind of saving over here. We might play them real quick, and then let's see what this is about with The Rock. Then we'll kind of check out those beats real quick if anyone cares about that, and then we'll get into the Trump, Neil, Elon, and Trump again. And then those are I don't think any of those are too crazy long, so we might kind of after we go through that stuff look for another video or two to kind of fill in the end of the live stream. But let me go to the chat, just see if y'all are saying anything. Nope. Y'all get in the chat, man. Y'all let me know about the topics that we go over today. Um, or get in the chat and suggest a comment. I'm open to suggestions and seeing what people want to hear me talk about or what they want to discuss, etc. So let's see what this guy's talking about The Rock.
A celebrity, I get asked to do a lot of stupid shit a lot of times, and sometimes I accept. The Rock does excel at a lot of things. Being super big, commitment to being super big, getting bigger, eating like a big person, and being big. I do like a lot of The Rock's movies. I do like CIA was one of my actually heard. It's not bad. It hasn't really been locked down bros and where you just go to get shit on. It's a I would love to see a review. Tube thing. Keep your hair and scalp hydrated.
I don't care about this. Lost my interest. Let's check out these beats real quick. This one's kind of vibing. If y'all don't know, on the low, Anthony Sweats on YouTube is a very good producer. And there's a little something that I'm missing as far as like having an ear, because I sent a producer to one of my boys that does music, and the one producer he really didn't say anything about, which I thought was a good producer. And then I sent him this producer who I thought was on a similar level, and he really had good things to say about Anthony Sweats. So his tag is light skin Key Sweat. So shout out to G Dollar. Shout out to G Dollar. Big music. What would I say? Just a big music influence and a big name in Austin. If you're in Austin and you're in the music scene, you know G Dollar, you know Winter Circle. He's good people, and he's really spreading the love, and it's good music. So he's a good person. He's got good people around him, and just real good music. I fuck with G Dollar. Fuck with the flow. You know, it's kind of it's I wouldn't say old school, but it's a little old school with, you know, he's coming with bars, and it's stuff you can understand. Not to dog the new school, because I know for a while, that's been years ago now, it was popular to like dog the mumble rappers and all that, but definitely not a mumble rapper. Definitely got the good punchlines and stuff, and definitely got some dope beats. And I think if y'all are a Syntax Boys fan, I might take some old G Dollar beats that I found on YouTube that I think were kind of more or less forgotten about, and I might do a little somewhat of a mixtape rapping over some real old G Dollar beats. So I really am behind on how much music I want to be doing and putting out too, but I'd really like to get. There's probably like 3 or 4 really good G Dollar beats that are old school, and you can tell they're kind of old because the quality is not quite like the sound. Like the quality of the beat's good, but like the sound quality is, you could tell it was made like a while ago. But I might hop on those beats, have a little fun, and put out like a small little project soon. So that might be cool, something to look forward to. But I really am feeling this light skin. Well, that's the tag. But Anthony Sweats, he has a lot of good beats. So if you're into music or just like to freestyle, some of these beats might not be freestyle beats, but if you're into making music and rapping and stuff, check out Anthony Sweat on YouTube. Little inside game or outside game, whatever you want to call it. Let's see this beat. Dun, 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 dun. It feels like it's gearing up to basically drop. So yeah, I like this beat. And like, woo! I'm looking at. I just woo! Shout out Tyler and Dove. I might take a little flow on this one. I might just woo! like I'm Iron Solomon. You already know it's the LOG. Yeah, a little freestyle, but the game ain't free. Yeah, they always missing me. Back when I used to always blame the pound of weed, switch the sweets with the sweet tea inside of me. Yeah, now, regressing, but moving closer to God blessing is the epitome. Yeah, are you feeling me? Yeah, Pausito, Scarlito, Bombito, back when it was 06 or 07, waiting for Pimp C to get back from prison, only for a year or two later, him to get sent to heaven. Yeah, there's some immaculate stuff behind that. Yeah, I'd rather irritate in deception. I'm just trying to smoke a chill like the boy Devin. Do what you wanna do, yeah. Look into the truth, don't be an innocent bystander left confused, yeah. Don't mess with the rules, keep it rather rude. 10 toes down to the ground like they glued. Yeah, in this game, trying to have an operation where I'm rather shrewd, but also have a little bit of kindness in my ilk. You already know the game, smoother than silk. Yeah, LOG can get cleaner than clean, like bald head Mr. Clean, or I can get dirty as filth. Woo! It's them Syntax boys, and we live from the living room. I should have almost done that freestyle on the Syntax Boys channel. That's an idea I've been playing around with too, going live on the Syntax Boys channel and doing freestyles once a week. Y'all get in the comments and let me know if y'all would feel that. It was kind of fun messing around right now, just kind of hit a little impromptu freestyle. Cold too, might I add. If you know about freestyling or stuff, you got to kind of maybe a beat or two or a freestyle or two to kind of warm up and stuff. So that was just a cold off the dome. Without warming up freestyle. So anyway, if y'all would look forward to that on my Syntax Boys channel, y'all get in the comments and let me know. So okay, let's go ahead. We kind of had some fun the first how long we been going? First 15 minutes or so, we just kind of getting into it, you know, showing y'all a few beats, kind of conversating, catching up with what's going on with me and stuff. But now let's get into, you know, what the theme of the channel is, and if you're here, what you came for. How long is this video? 10 minutes? Okay.
Mr. President, there are reports that you were considering.
Oh, I thought this was with the reciprocal tax. That's a little old video that I'm thinking of. This one's still 5 days old. So.
Merging the United States Postal Service with the Commerce Department. Can you elaborate on if this is something you're considering?
Well, we want to have a post office that works well and doesn't lose massive amounts of money.
Okay, this made me think of a bit by Jerry Seinfeld where he had a comedy bit about the postmaster and the post office always losing money. Let me see if I can find that real quick. And yeah, that's a common theme with Jerry, like making fun of the post office, with Newman being like a big, you know, character in the show and someone that they, you know, make fun of and stuff. Let's see. I want the old stand-up where he talks about it, though. Let's see what this one is. I guess this one would work too. I feel like he had a... I guess this is it. Let me give the... Yeah.
Watching postal employees work is like watching a lava lamp, isn't it? They just float and it's some kind of viscous liquid that they have to go through. They have a big light bulb in the back of the post office. It heats up the employees. They come to the front, they sell some stamps, then they cool, then they have to go back into the back again. And they come out and then they take a package and then I'm cooling. Just back and forth they go. So I give the guy the package, he turns around, he puts it behind him. So I say to the guy, when is the package gonna get there? So the guy turns around, he looks at the package, he says, about a week. Now what is the look? What is...
Yeah, what is the look?
How does he get there? Is that mental package telepathy, him and... Just be honest with me. Say, look, I don't know. Nobody knows. That's why this Federal Express. Next.
Oh man.
If I could talk to the post office, if I could say to them, if you really want to be helpful to us, just open the letters, read them, and email us what it says. Thank you very much.
There's one bit where he talks about, dang it, he talks about the postmaster coming out every year or two and saying we got to raise the prices. And I wish I could find it. Oh man. What about this?
World like email. Why is the word mail even in email? Is there any similarity between email and whatever the hell is going on in the Postal Service? One of them operates on a digital fiber optic hyperspeed network. The other is this dazed and confused distant branch of the Cub Scouts out there just bumbling around the streets in embarrassing shorts and jackets with meaningless patches and victory medals. Driving 4 miles an hour, 20 feet at a time on the wrong side of a mentally handicapped Jeep. They always have this emotional financial meltdown every 3.5 years that their business model from 1630 isn't working anymore. How are we going to catch up? I cannot understand how a 21st century information system based on licking, walking, and a random number of pennies is struggling to compete. They always push the Postmaster General out on TV to explain their difficulties. He's all freaked out, rings under his eyes, no shave.
I'm sorry the audio quality is not the best, but this is the specific bit that I was thinking of, and it just really hammers home kind of the fact that we waste a lot of money on stuff in this country that's nonsensical, and Trump's kind of going after that, and that resonates with a lot of people for that reason. And Jerry just sums it up so great here, so let me go back without interrupting him.
Postmaster General out on, and a random number of pennies is struggling to compete. They always push the Postmaster General out on TV to explain their difficulties. He's all freaked out, rings under his eyes, no shave, pulling all-nighters. We can't keep it up much longer. Looks like we're going to have to go up another penny on the steps. We're all sitting home. Dude, relax. We don't know how much a stamp is anyway. 48, 53, 61. Make it a buck. You're going to get there. If it ends up you got some money left over, buy yourself some pants and a real car. I would say to the Postal Service, if you actually wanted to be helpful to us, just open the letters, read them, and email us what it says.
That was we saw the ending earlier, but I wanted that part right before the end where he talks about them pushing the postmaster out there. He's all distraught. He's like, we're gonna have to go up another penny. I was like, yeah. Oh, we're just like, raise it to $1. We don't even, you know. Anyway, all right, let's get back to Trump.
And we're thinking about doing that, and it'll be a form of a merger, but it'll remain the Postal Service, and I think it'll operate a lot better than it has been over the years. It's been just a tremendous loser for this country. Tremendous amounts of money are being lost, and we think we can do something that'll be very good and keep it a very similar way, but whether it's a merger or just using some of the very talented people that we have elsewhere so it doesn't lose so much. It's losing a tremendous amount of money.
Mr. Some members of Congress in red districts are facing pushback from voters in town halls. We know that Americans voted for you on the immigration and the economy, but these voters say they're angry and frustrated by these firings. They don't like the work of Elon Musk and these other actions. What do you say to that?
Who do you work for?
I work for ABC News, sir.
Who?
ABC News.
No wonder. let me just tell you that.
Did you hear that guy laugh? He almost had a Vlad laugh. His laugh had to like get started almost.
I work for ABC News, sir.
Who?
ABC News.
No wonder. let me just tell you that.
Oh, Jesus laugh at the end. Is that one of the other reporters just laughing at ABC News? I love that.
I have today the highest poll numbers. Who?
ABC News.
No wonder. let me just tell you that I have today the highest poll numbers I've ever had. I have today
Woo!
the highest poll numbers of any Republican president ever. We haven't even checked the Democrats, but that's what I was just told. And they like the job that we're doing. They like the job that Elon's doing. He's doing something that a lot of people wouldn't have the courage to do. We want to streamline our country. We want to streamline, because you know why? Because we want our country to survive and thrive. And we're finding billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. Billions, and I mean numbers like you wouldn't believe. And we haven't even started yet. So it's actually just the opposite. We've polled it, and people are thrilled. They can't even believe it's happening.
I can't believe it either.
And it won't affect many people. It'll only affect the people that get caught stealing. The waste, fraud, and abuse is at a level like nobody's ever seen. It's been going on for years. And all you have to do is look at the Social Security rolls, look at some of the things, look at where the money is going. The Attorney General's looking into something, environmental protection, $20 billion. And it's out and out fraud. So I think the people are very happy. Yes, please.
Mr. President, I want to ask you about this week, the Secretary spent 4 hours with the European Union trade representative. The European Union has signaled that they would lower tariffs and do a trade deal with the United States.
Yeah, the European Union wants to come back. They've treated us very badly, and the European Union wants to lower their tariffs because of the fact we were paying a fortune of tariffs. We couldn't sell a car there. We couldn't sell our farm products there. They wouldn't take anything. Now all of a sudden they're being very nice, and that's going to happen.
Dude, who the fuck is laughing over there? It's too good.
With a lot of others too. The European Union is wanting to lower its barriers at very low levels.
I'm gonna get chuckling over there.
They want to now bring their car number, which was extremely high, down to 2.5%, which is the same thing that we charge. That's reciprocal. See, that's what is happening, reciprocal. And I think it's a big start in the right direction with the European Union.
You called President Zelensky of Ukraine a dictator. Do you think that President Putin of Russia is also a dictator?
I think that President Putin and President Zelensky are going to have to get together, because you know what? We want to stop killing millions of people. You have young soldiers being killed. If you saw the pictures that I saw of the battlefield.
All right, we're at 3:39, basically 3:40. I'm just dying to know what question they asked. I got so caught up about the laugh and the reaction of him saying, "Oh, no wonder you're from ABC," that I almost don't even know what question she asked.
We want our country to survive. And
and the economy. Members of Congress in red districts are facing pushback from voters in town halls. We know that Americans voted for you on the immigration and the economy, but these voters say they're angry and frustrated by these firings. They don't like the work of Elon Musk and these other actions. What do you say to them?
who do you work for?
I work for ABC News, sir.
Who?
ABC News.
No wonder.
She was asking about Doge and saying that people that voted red are not happy with it, and what would he say about that? Okay. He's like, no wonder.
Field from satellite. You've never seen any pictures like that. Soldiers are being killed by the thousands a week. Thousands of soldiers a week. As we speak, they're being killed. That's why I want to see a ceasefire, and I want to get the deal done. I think we have a chance to get the deal done. I had to make sure that Russia wanted to do it. It's a war that would have never happened if I was president, but it did happen. So I got stuck with it. And I want to stop people from being killed. You know, it doesn't affect the United States very much. It's on the other side of the ocean. It does affect Europe. And we've put in 3 times more money. We're in for $300 billion. They're in for $100 billion. And, you know, Europe is also doing it in the form of a loan. Biden just gave them money. There was no loan. There was no security. There was no anything. So we're going to either sign a deal or there's going to be a lot of problems with them. So we're going to sign a deal to get security, because we have to do that. We're spending our treasure. They're spending their blood. They are. And they're very brave in every way you can imagine. But we are spending our treasure on a country that's very, very far away. And it's okay, but we have to be treated the same as Europe is being treated. Europe gets their money back. Europe is basically giving nothing, because they get it back in the form of a loan, and it's a guaranteed loan. We don't get our money back, and we're losing. I mean, we don't want to do that anymore. So we're signing an agreement, hopefully in the next fairly short period of time, that will assure us that we'll get $400 or $500 billion back. We're in there for $300 billion. Now, one other thing. Europe is at 100. We're at 300. We think it has to equalize. In other words, they have to come up with more money because it has a big effect in Europe. It doesn't have much of an effect on us because we have a big, beautiful ocean in between. But it does affect, and Biden should have never gotten us into this mess. We had an incompetent...
I agree. The fact that we were sending Ukraine money so every so often, every 3 months, whatever it was, like periodically, I don't remember what it was, but I remember periodically I would always hear, oh, we send Ukraine this much money. We sent Ukraine this much money. And I'm just thinking, why are we sending Ukraine billions and billions and billions of dollars? That did not make sense to me at all. Just as a Joe Blow that doesn't know shit about politics, really. I mean, I like to dissect them and dumb them down and give my take, but like, I never understood what the reasoning or justification for that was. Y'all give me a second. I'm going to get something to drink. It's gotten hot here recently. I'm going to turn the air on, and then I'll be back. Give me about a minute. Shut up! Shut up, Mr. Know-It-All! Tell him Kendrick did it like why. I don't know why. Let me see. I don't know why my scene break thing that usually plays me and Joey's song wasn't playing. Let me see real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All!
Shut up!
It's that Centex boys, and we're out here.
There we go. For some reason, it just needed to be reset. I don't know what was up with that. And I was also thinking the other day that I might put a new one of our songs up there to kind of give it a fresh scene break every now and then. I know it's been another day for a while, but that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. That sometimes when I leave and go to the bathroom or go get a drink or whatever, and I have the little scene break thing on, that song that plays is me and Mr. Joe Games. So, you know, Syntax Boys, if you want to go check out our YouTube channel, and on SoundCloud, we have more songs on there, but I need to upload all the rest of them that aren't on YouTube to YouTube. And yeah, I might do freestyles on there here and there, but you know, I've been lacking on the live streams here, so that takes priority. But anyway, let's get back into it. Let me check the chat real quick. There's some guy in the kick chat that okay. Huh. Some guy wanted to help me advertise and grow my channel or something. Anyway.
President who got us into a mess, but we're going to get you out of it. The same thing in the Middle East. We're going to have some good news in the Middle East. What happened yesterday, the sight of those babies was not acceptable to anybody. Nobody's seen anything like it.
Mr. President, are you going to Moscow? There's a report out of France that you're going to Moscow on May 9th.
No, I'm
to
not.
join President Putin.
I'm not.
And then if I could, sir, just ask you about Kash Patel, who's going to be sworn in as soon as your FBI director. Talk to us about your reaction to him getting sworn in and the fact that many agents across the country are concerned that they will be fired en masse for simply just doing their jobs.
No, I think the agents are very happy about Kash. In fact, the agents led the charge for Kash. One of the reasons I loved Kash and wanted to put him in is because of the respect the agents had for him. I think he'll go down as the best ever at that position. And it turned out he was very easy to get approved. You know, I was not sure. He's a tough guy, strong guy. He has his opinions, and I wasn't sure. He turned out to be he went very smoothly. I don't know if he's in the room now. He's going to be in the room very shortly. Where is he? Oh, good. I'm saying the right thing. I can't speak too badly about him. I better be careful. I will say this about Kash, and Howard understands this. One of the reasons that I wanted him is because the agents love this guy, and they respect this guy, and this is what they wanted. And even somebody like Trey Gowdy, who's a very good guy.
Trump's definitely a showman. You could say that. He's meant for TV. He might be one of the greatest media personalities, of this last 20 years.
But known as somewhat of a moderate person. He came out with a statement that was so incredible. He said, Kash is an incredible person. People don't realize it.
People either love him or hate him, or if they don't love him or hate him, they at least can admit that he provides some humor, some good humor, pretty often. So I feel like there's not many people that don't have a strong opinion of Trump. And even if they don't, like me, I love his humor. So I still love him, even though I don't love him in the way his supporters love him. I love the humor, and he's captivating. He's the most entertaining show on the internet, just about, which is crazy to say. And politics is a lot more entertaining and engaging and prevalent seeming than it was in the past. So that's part of it too. But yeah, he's a polarizing figure. That's what I was trying to say. And I don't think anyone would question that.
When he said that, there was no doubt left. It was really a big statement made by somebody that's respected and on the moderate side. And I will tell you, I think Kash is going to go down as maybe the best ever when it's all said and done. So I'm glad he's willing to do it. Thank you, Kash.
Tim Cook a little bit more. You talked about. Could you speak a little bit more about your meeting with Tim Cook? You said that he was going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars. There's specific projects that he spoke to you about. What were those?
All over the country. He's going to start building, and he doesn't want to pay tariffs. And he's going to start building, but very big numbers. You have to speak to him. I assume they're going to announce it at some point, but very big numbers. He was here yesterday. I met with him at length, and Apple is coming here with tremendous dollars. They're going to be spending a lot of money in the United States, more than they've ever spent by a factor of probably 10.
Did you reporting that you were signing a memo later to counter digital service taxes?
Well, will you speak? I mean, what are you doing, reading it? Can't you just say it?
He's shaming a reporter for reading her question instead of just asking it.
Having to read it?
My question?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Bloomberg, we're reporting that you're expected to sign tariffs or a memo later on tariffs on digital taxes. Is there any idea how high you might go with
We are going to be
tariffs?
doing that. Digital, what they're doing to us in other countries is terrible with digital. So we'll be announcing that. Are we signing it maybe today?
Today.
And we'll talk about that in a little while. You'll be here.
Are you going to put the secretary in charge of the Postal Service?
He's going to look at it. He's got a great business instinct, which is what we need. And he'll be looking at it, and we think we can turn it around. But it is the Postal Service. I mean, we're leaving the Postal Service, but we're losing so much money with the Postal Service, and we don't want to lose that kind of money. So the secretary and some others that have talent, that kind of talent, we'll be looking at.
So how close are you to a minerals agreement with Ukraine, Mr. President?
What?
How close are you to striking a minerals deal?
I think we're
with
pretty
Ukraine?
close, yeah. I think they want it, and they feel good about it.
They want
and,
it?
It's a big deal. But they want it, and it keeps us in that country, and they're very happy about it. But we get our money back. This should have been signed long before we went in. This should have been signed by Biden.
I don't want to stay in that country.
But Biden didn't know too much about what.
I don't want to be a cowboy.
he was doing. The war should have never happened, number one. When it did happen, it could have been settled the first week or 2 weeks. After that, it got bad. It got really bad. But it should have never happened, and it should have been settled, and it could have been settled very easily at the beginning. Now it's tougher, but we'll get it settled.
Germany has elections on Sunday. What are your thoughts? What do you expect to happen in the elections on Sunday?
Who has elections?
Germany.
Oh, Germany. I wish them luck. We got our own problems. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, press.
President Trump.
I wish him luck. Oh, this video is gonna be a treat. I wish I hadn't even seen the beginning of it, but I paused it. I got, what, a third of the way through, a little more. There was already one banger line. I don't remember what it was, but I saved this video. Well, like I said, I already watched one good comment from Neil, but I had to bring it back. We'll react to the second half of it. And oh yeah, this is a good one. I love well, it's a never mind. I was gonna say it's a love-hate relationship, but pause on that. But I don't like Neil deGrasse, but I in a way that I love Trump to watch the show, I love to watch Neil just make a fool of himself.
Tonight, NASA versus Elon Musk. So NASA's top.
Woo! What more could we ask for? Elon versus NASA.
Top officials firing back at Musk. One former senior NASA official, just moments ago, told CNN that they never received an offer from Musk's SpaceX to bring home the 2 U.S. astronauts stuck in space. They never got that offer. Now, why were they saying that? Well, because they were responding to Musk's claims that the 2 astronauts had been left in space for, quote, political reasons. The astronauts themselves, they're up there.
Oh, yeah. They're up there.
We don't feel abandoned. Dude,
look at this freaking phony fake hairspray this chick has in her hair to make it look like that. No. In 2025, with all the CGI and all the AI and all the fucking technology, this is the best we can do? Just completely fake it. What the fuck? If you look at this woman with an honest, sober mind, tell me you cannot tell she has freaking hairspray in her hair, making it stand up and go like that. The last woman that they showed, while the news reporter was talking, her hair looked like it might be in space. Just kind of like out and like whatever, but we really
had to deny this.
That looked like it was in space. This looks like you have hairspray in your hair, so it's standing up. Well, are they going to show it?
I mean, there's just some moments in all this where you go, this is really insane. Multiple astronauts going after Musk.
No, go back right here. Dude, if that doesn't say hairspray to you, come on.
Themselves, they're up there, and they had to deny this.
They're up there.
We don't feel abandoned. We don't feel stuck.
Dude, she looks like Cruella DeVille when she lost her mind and her hair was like this. But it's just like stuck like that. It's like, dude, you are not in space. Get real.
Don't feel stranded.
I mean, they are on the internet.
I mean, we played a 2-second clip of him saying not stranded. Do you believe me when I make this face? No, not really, bitch. Aaron Burnett.
Space station having to respond to this. I mean,
Aaron Burnett out front. Out front of what? The fuck does that mean?
It's just some moments in all this where you go, this is really insane.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Multiple astronauts going after Musk after these claims, including Andreas Morgensen, who called Musk's claim a lie on X. Musk responded, and I'm going to just quote what Musk said.
You are fully retarded.
This astronaut, fully retarded and an idiot. So on that note, let's...
SpaceX could have brought them back several months ago. I offered this directly to the Biden administration, and they refused. Return was pushed back for political reasons. Idiot.
bring in astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Woo! Speaking of an idiot.
Collins Tour of the Universe, Traveler's Guide to Blue Moons, Black Holes, Mars, Stars, and Everything Far.
Everything that's just blaspheming God with your fake fucking lies. Merlin. You know, magic is... Ah, bro, I could go into a whole thing.
There's a prominent place on my bookshelf. I put it in the travel section. Should I ever
just put it in the trash can.
To
just in case.
Travel, you know, when I was organizing, that's what I did. Okay, this topic that Musk says that this was, you know, political, that Biden wouldn't bring them down. They have to be, these astronauts denying it on the space station. NASA denies it. An astronaut says it's not true, and Musk, you know, uses those horrible words to.
What do you have to say, Neil? Please tell us.
Respond to the person. I mean, what is your response to all of this?
Well, let's go to the beginning of it all. The two astronauts were never stranded in any normal way we would use that term. And they...
You know, if I was up in space and my country was delaying coming to get me, I'd feel like I'm fucking stranded.
We're joining a half a dozen other astronauts on the International Space Station. There's plenty of food. Maybe they didn't bring enough changes of underwear. I don't know. But that would be like the worst case scenario. They're both...
They can't just come home, though. You're stuck in space. You literally have to wait till someone sends a rocket up. You have no power or control or anything. You're just waiting.
Experienced astronauts. And while I don't remember...
They're well trained for this situation. They're well trained astronauts.
Whether...
And when I talk with a deep voice and slow like this, I mesmerize people into thinking I know what I'm talking about.
This is the longest time they spent in zero G in their astronaut career, but it's a while, and so they have to adjust to that, but they're professionals, so they're not stranded. Second,
just because they're professionals and can handle it well and they're not out of food, et cetera, doesn't mean they're not stranded, though.
What a luxury it is to have a conversation about he said, she said, and who said what, when, I mean, think about it. We have options to bring them back from space. One of them is...
We shouldn't need options. How about the motherfucking government agency that sent them up there brings them home when they're supposed to? Like, what? We have options? What the fuck? Like, how about NASA send them up there, NASA brings them home? Do your fucking job. We have options to send people to space. It's like, oh, brother.
SpaceX.
Right.
And that's when... I mean, think about it.
I'm thinking about how crazy it is
to bring them back from space. One of them is SpaceX.
Right.
And that's evidence to me that we are living in the future, that no one is worried about whether they're...
Well, I mean, I know he's exaggerating to prove a point and using like a political device, one of which I'm probably, you know, too ignorant to know right now. But you know, say we're living in the future. It's like, well, you can't live in the future, first of all. But I get what he's trying to say. But it's like, bro, it's laughable that Elon can send something up to a space station. Like, if it's like, how has NASA's technology just gone down and like back, and then Elon is now who we're depending on? Like, he can launch rockets and land them back on a fucking pole, but is he doing stuff like going far and going to the moon and Mars and stuff? Like, I don't even believe that stuff is real and can be done. But it's like, we have options now. We have Elon. What about, like, then close NASA? If they can't even do anything, like, if they're relying on Elon to bail them out, like, is this striking anyone else as weird? Like, the first time I heard that, I was just like, what? We have options. We have Elon now. We have SpaceX.
Options to bring them back from space. One of them is SpaceX.
Right.
And that's evidence to me that we are living in the future, that no one is worried about whether there exists a ship to bring them back. Yeah,
it should be the one that took them up there.
Starliner for Boeing, that had some risk factors. NASA was not going to take that risk. So you push that aside. Who's up next? There's SpaceX.
That's literally the only other supposed option. He acts like there's 5 space travel companies. Who's next? There's SpaceX. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? other than Elon like taking off and landing a few rockets that are totally unmanned and with no people, to my knowledge, has he ever had a human inside of a rocket? Like, this is all just like, to me, it's bullshit. But like to the average person that believes it all, it's even starting to seem weird and like not really add up.
I'm good with that. And the rest of this is just distraction.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is unfortunate. I say, you read it and you think about people reading it and people using such words, especially people who have achieved so much and you run SpaceX, you have all of the things that someone has to speak like that. At best, it's deeply unfortunate. Let me ask you, Neil, also, the other context here is these asteroids, right? So then the city killer asteroid, I guess it's called.
Well, yeah, meanwhile, there's like asteroids bearing down on Earth.
So,
maybe
so
somebody
in
should
case
pay
we don't
attention.
destroy it ourselves, there's something else to do it for us. Okay, so it was kind of up and it was down, it was vacillating all over the place, and now they're downplaying that particular asteroid.
It was up, it was down, it was bullshit, it was never gonna happen. Get real.
That they say now is more unlikely to
It's not
hit
so
a
much
city.
downplaying. There's better evidence available to
Right.
tighten the uncertainty circle such that Earth is basically no longer at risk.
All right,
Oh,
so-
by the way,
yeah.
that circle still encloses the moon. So the moon's risk, the moon
So
has
Seven Eves becomes a reality. The Neil Stephenson book I enjoyed. Right, you break up the moon and the pieces start coming down.
Yeah.
But I know asteroids are a very serious thing, and there's only so much ability, and I think this is what this brought to bear, to see them within the time frame that one could do anything about it.
Yes, that's a perfectly stated concern. And so we have some telescopes coming online very shortly that specialize in the discovery of very dim asteroids. And these are the ones that can sneak up on us and not give us
so full of shit.
much time to react, either to deflect it, which NASA has been building that kind of technology. They had a mission, the DART mission, Double Asteroid Redirect Test, just a couple of years ago, successfully altered the path of an asteroid. This was not known whether that would work because the structural integrity of asteroids is not well understood. You can push on one piece, that might break off and leave the rest in place.
Yeah.
We don't know this. So the more of these kinds of missions that we launch, the safer we might feel going forward when one of these gets discovered that could be headed towards Earth.
Yeah. All right. So now let me ask you also about these executive orders, the DEI orders that are now, at first I think people felt maybe in some of the government agencies, okay, it's just rhetoric. Call it whatever you want to call it, continue with it. It now appears that that's not the case, right? This is not rhetoric, this is reality. Look at NASA, for example, the web pages that would talk about the diversity of the space program. Just to say, look at how diverse our program is. This is something that
404. Y'all can't do anything better than this. Just say, we're under review. We still appreciate hard work, dedication, loyalty. We hope to have something more on this page soon. You could type up a paragraph or two and just say how prestigious NASA is and how honorable they are and how they're trying to figure out how they're going to come to terms with Trump's thing. Like, they could type up a nice thing that would make them still look real legitimate, real official. Real official, real professional. But for them to say 404 not found, it's like, okay, this is almost as cheesy as hiding or storing the federal employees' retirement papers in the salt mine or the limestone mine, excuse me.
that we are proud of. Look at the 404 warning you get now. It's gone.
It's just so lazy, dude. You could have chat GPT AI type up the kind of thing I was talking about in 30 seconds, dude. This is so freaking lazy.
Programs promoting diversity and inclusion. Even Black History Month. Black History Month. For Black astronauts, women astronauts, minority astronauts, just things again that the space program that NASA was proud of appear at this point to have been shut down. You sit here as a Black astrophysicist. What's your how are you putting your processing this?
Yeah, so when I grew up, people said, oh, did you want to be an astronaut when you were a kid? I'm old enough to have lived through the 60s, the moon landing and the rest. And I said, no.
What rest? Y'all's one big hoax and then a bunch of other real weak evidence and bullshit? The moon landing and the rest. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
the rest of
it was
bullshit.
clear they were not interested in me by who they were sending into space.
You saw the lack of color.
As a child, I knew this.
Oh, poor Neo didn't get to go to space. Now he's just in charge of brainwashing everybody that space is real. Fuck you, pussy.
More than that, everyone was wearing like crew cuts at a time when the Broadway musical Hair was number one.
Right.
So there was some mismatches between who we were sending in space and what culture was doing. I still valued that we were going into space, but I didn't feel like I was a part of that. And with DEI, so I always viewed that as a way to encourage agencies to look in places you hadn't looked before.
I don't care. Goodbye.
I mean, the way they're talking about it, you can see they don't care. It's such little money compared to how much they're used to wasting. That's what's really scary.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly. But obviously, it just shows that they really lack empathy for the average taxpayer who's working hard, paying taxes, and then they say, oh, $1 million doesn't matter. I'm like, I think it matters a lot to people, you know? So what are you talking about?
I'd like to have it. Let me ask you a question. I know the president fairly well, watched him survive 2 assassination attempts. Had the first one not happened, the second one would have gotten him. You know, it was very, because without those extra guys, they would have never seen that gun poking through the fence at the golf.
Yeah, the people that are in charge of protecting the president, the Secret Service, they never would have seen a gun poking through a fence. Like a fucking cartoon. What is this, Trailer Park Boys? I mean, fuck off, Cyrus. That is just like kindergarten shit.
I saw the crew that you
Isn't it like mind-blowing that this has happened? I mean, it just... And what, by the way, why do we still know nothing about that guy in Butler? What's going on? Cash is going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, there you go.
By the way,
Confirmed just a couple hours ago, but I saw that the security detail that you had come in is enormous.
Well, it's not that enormous. Maybe it should be bigger. I don't know.
I think you could probably afford it. But I mean, how concerned are you about your safety? Dealing, I mean, you are a wanted man. Are you nervous?
So, look, I'm open to ideas for improving security, I have to tell you. I don't actually have a death wish, I think. You know, it's not that easy. Yeah. I mean, but I have like, I've had even like people like President Bukele from El Salvador who managed to put in prison like, I don't know, 100,000 like murderous thugs. And he was like, he called me, he's like, I'm worried about your security. I'm like, you're worried about my security? I'm like, what? Okay. That's you know.
I mean, talk about guts to do that down there. I mean,
yeah, totally.
And survive.
Like, I was like, how did you put all those thugs in prison without dying? Because it seems like that would have been not easy, you know.
Well, the president has, one of his top attorneys is now investigating, I guess, Chuck Schumer for threats against SCOTUS, a congressman on the Democrat side, who's saying, you know, basically saying we're going to bring a war to you, like a fight to you. I mean, the rhetoric. You guys are screwing with things that are not supposed to be messed with. And
we're fighting the Matrix.
There's a lot of people that really don't want that to happen.
Yeah, we're fighting the Matrix big time here. But it has got to be done.
Yeah.
It
certainly does. What's going on with? Tell us about Fort Knox. It's Kentucky. It's a military base. It's a ton of gold, tons and tons and tons
like
of gold.
5,000 tons of gold or
5,000 tons of gold are there in the ground and like this. I mean, it's a very secure thing.
I think we all want to see it.
I'd love to see it.
Like, this is your gold, by the way. It's the public's gold.
Do you think it's not there?
I don't know. But I think
we just want to see it.
Yeah, we want to go see it and just make sure, like, somebody did spray paint some lead or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is this real gold? Fight at the bar, you know?
Didn't dent.
But I think, honestly, you know, part of this also is just like, let's have some fun and
let's have some fun.
Like I said, all this gold at Fort Knox, it's the public's gold. It's your gold. So, like, I think you have, like, a right to see it.
You want to take a tour?
You know? Yeah. I think we should have do a tour. And then the president last night was like, I think he's in favor of it. That would be cool. And then it should be like a live tour. Like, you can see what's going on, open the door, like, what's behind it.
Well, and there's,
you know, I think I'd watch that.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I mean, what does 5,000 tons of gold look
totally.
like?
What does
How
it
big
look
is
like?
that? Is it the size of this?
It's got to be pretty
stage?
big,
I mean,
you know.
It's got to be a lot of
Maybe
gold.
there's some other stuff in there, like just walk around, like I don't know, maybe they got some other stuff in there.
Are you thinking about auditing the Federal Reserve as well, which is obviously is a
yeah, sure.
regulates
While
our
we're at it.
economy? I imagine you think the waste has got to be everywhere.
Yeah, no, waste is pretty much everywhere. People ask, like, how can you find waste in DC? I'm like, look, it's like being in a room, and this target, the wall, the roofs, and the floor are all targets. So it's like, you're gonna close your eyes and go shoot in any direction. you can't miss, you know? So it's pretty wild. Like you just push on things a little bit and you save billions of dollars. Like just a little bit, you know? It's wild.
It's scary, isn't it? It's
that's why I say, like, it really is underrated. If you add caring and competence, how much things improve.
Yeah.
And you know, and we just find so many totally crazy things, which, you know, we're sharing with the public. We post everything we learn. You know, just you know, so you can see it. You know.
What do you? I mean,
and like, it's like, isn't it like it's totally wild? Like we just did like a check the database on Social Security. Like says how many alive Americans eligible for Social Security are there? And according to the database, it's over 400 million. And we're like, wait a second.
And how many are getting?
How old are they again?
Yeah.
And then like we found like one person in there is like 360 years old. I'm like, what, do they know Ben Franklin or something? I mean,
yeah.
You know, America didn't exist before that time. Like so
yeah, we were colonies.
You know, maybe it's just me, but I think it's a red flag. I don't know.
But are there indications that there were checks going to those people or any of those people?
Well, yeah.
That's, I guess, the question, right? I mean, I get the Social Security Administration is dumb, but are they paying these people? Are they that dumb? I don't know.
A bunch of money is going out from the Social Security Administration, and in fact, from all entitlements programs.
$72 billion in waste in like 7 years. That's $10 billion a year.
Well, I think the
fraudulent payments.
The rough estimate from General Government Accountability Office is over $500 billion of fraud a year.
Oh.
$500 billion.
And how long at a time?
Per year.
Per year? On Social Security?
No, on all...
on all government?
On all entitlements?
All entitlements.
All entitlements, yeah.
Yeah.
500 billion a year in fraud in entitlements, which I guess that's like, I'd have to look it up. Certain type of government payments, like I guess retirement, disability, different things like that.
Sort of actually makes sense when you look at the thing from a top level and say like, okay, there's $7 trillion of spending by the government. What percentage do you think is fraudulent? Okay, exactly. Like a conservative estimate of the 7 trillion would be 10%. Conservative.
Probably a little higher than that, yeah.
Exactly.
Feels like a quarter out of every dollar, right?
But if the fraud's only 10% of 7 trillion, you've got $700 billion of fraud.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's like really easy to take advantage of the federal government. It's very easy. So.
Very easy. Look at COVID.
Yes.
Everybody got rich during COVID. I mean, look at all these scammers. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Everybody but the everyday people who got more poor. I didn't take advantage of the federal government during COVID. Did you? It's like, I didn't get richer during COVID. Did you? It's like, don't forget whose side these people are on and who they work for and what the fuck's really going on. Dark MAGA, get the fuck out of here.
It looks like, in terms of the COVID payments, there was something like 200.
Give me some rice and beans, I'll shit on somebody.
$100 billion of COVID payment fraud taken by fraudsters out of the country.
Out of the country, yeah.
That's like I think, listen, if there's going to be fraud, it should at least be domestic.
Yeah.
So, you know. But they managed to get $200 billion out of the country. I'm like, what? Didn't we notice that?
Let me ask you, let's do immigration here for a second. You know, there's this move now that Trump's latest thing is that he's going to cut funding, any kind of money that ends up in the hands of illegal immigrants. So if you're funding these sanctuary cities and states, that's how they thrive, right? They're paying for these hotels. That's all federal money. If you got a hotel in your city in New York, you got all these hotels full of migrants. That's not state money. That's the feds are covering that. He's going to...
Why? Why are we covering that? Give me a second. See, it seems like to conservatives and people that are fans of this, and even people that just believe in common sense and that our government has a lot of waste, which I think we all agree it does, and a certain amount of people that just, I guess, conservative and like more, just people that have a base level of common sense, like, okay, they're cutting fraud, that's good, and they're cutting all this like waste and stuff in the government, that's good. But then people that don't like Trump and Elon, that are mostly like liberals or left leaning, they're gonna say, well, basically they're using a chainsaw to do like a weed eater's job or like a tree trimmer's job. Like all you need is a little pair of nippers, but you're using a chainsaw. Like they're gonna say, who knows what they're doing behind the scenes, and they could be putting stuff in favor of Elon and other billionaires, like with them making NASA look bad, and then him exposing all, like, what if he exposed like how much waste was there, and then it just made his company look that much good? It's like there could be a conflict of interest with that and other things. And then people are also gonna say, so many people have got fired by accident because you shut down stuff that you didn't intend to, when you just did a wide sweep of whatever. And if you shut down 6 or 7 things that were good, you might have shut down three things or 30% of things that you still needed. So people are going to say there's a great harm in doing that. Is basically what people that don't like Trump and Elon would say. So there's the two sides that I've seen presented to people that are kind of for this stuff that's going on, and then the people that are kind of against it.
Cut all that.
What do y'all think about Trump and Elon and kind of this first month or so of him being in? I know a lot of like news stuff is going on, and he is signing a lot of stuff in order, like executive orders and whatnot. But I just kind of think it's going to take us a good 3 to 6 months to really see how it affects us and what's going to happen. But I guess we'll watch the end of this video, and then we got Trump and the French Prime Minister. And then we might look up one other video, kind of see what else is prevalent, and then we might round it out for tonight. How long have we been going? Just over an hour. So y'all get in the comments, let me know. I know I have been not as frequent with the live streams, but yeah, I'm always looking for new topics. I want to know what you guys want to hear and talk about. Of course, I have my interest in what I want to talk about, but y'all get in the comments, let me know what y'all have been seeing lately. Maybe y'all seen a story or something that I haven't seen, and or maybe I saw it and just didn't think I was going to cover it, and then you bring it up and you have a good point of discussion over it, or like a good detail about it that's good to discuss. Definitely down. So y'all get in the comments, let me know, and y'all let me know what y'all thought of kind of the topics I've covered so far. Do you believe in space and think I'm an idiot for not believing in space? Do you like Neil? Even if it's contrary, get in the comments, and don't be afraid to join the discussion. So
it's really hard to deport 15 million people. And it seems like the move now is, let's see if we, especially at the rate that we're going, it seems like the move now is, let's make it so that they leave on their own. If there's no longer a dole system for them, if they can't get their hands on hotel rooms and money, they're going to go back, especially if there's no work.
Well, I think it's really important for people to understand that the Biden administration sent any possible money that they could if there was money they could send to facilitate and amplify illegal immigration, they sent it. Okay, they took money from FEMA meant for helping Americans in distress and sent that money to luxury hotels for illegal immigrants in New York. That is an outrage. They actually did that. And not only that, even after the president signed an executive order saying it has to stop.
FEMA's never been that good or popular, though, just FYI.
The FEMA's, the sort of whatever deep state bureaucrats still pressed send on $80 million last week to go to the Roosevelt Hotel in New York and other places last week. And now they're mad that it got stopped, and they're like trying to sue to have it be restored. It's like the gumption is.
You think they're creating a new voter class? Would you think that was the goal when they open up the borders for 4 years? Create a new voter class, get them citizenship, get them in. Green cards, vote.
A lot of these things, like you don't actually have to assume some grand conspiracy. You just need to look at basic.
No. Never start thinking for yourself and assume there's a grand conspiracy. Don't do that. You never have to assume a grand conspiracy. Why not? Both sides, the left people think the right people are evil, and the right people think the left people are evil. Don't you think there's a grand conspiracy of something else really going on? Both sides think they're right. I mean, come on, dude.
Incentives.
There's no grand conspiracy.
So if the incentives, fundamentally, if
like
the
there is.
probability that an illegal is going to vote Democrat at some point, whether it's cheating, but eventually they can become citizens. But if the probability is like 80, 90%, you just look at California, which is supermajority Dem.
If there's no motherfucking grand conspiracy, how come JFK got assassinated by our fucking government, and it's taken how many years to fucking get the truth? What about there's no grand conspiracy? What about the MLK? I feel like Trump now. What about the MLK assassination? Shouldn't be eating while I'm streaming like a fat ass. Don't you fucking sit there and tell me there's no grand conspiracy. Fuck you.
And
bitch.
Then the incentive is to maximize the number of illegals in the country. That is why the Biden administration was pushing to get in as many illegals as possible and spend every dollar possible to get as many, because every one of them is a customer. Every one of them is a voter.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing was a giant voter importation.
That's a joke too when people say vote, your vote matters, but then they could just bring people in and don't even have to be citizens that can vote. So does your vote really matter or count? It's like, dude, get out of here. Don't tell me there's no grand fucking conspiracy. Fuck you, pussy.
Patient scam.
Pretty obvious.
Very obvious. Yeah. And then moreover, they.
When the fuck did Elon move to the United States? That popped into my head when I thought, was he here during 9/11? I almost feel like he wasn't. When did Elon move to America? Okay, he was. He moved in 92. Oh, he became a citizen in 2002. A year after 9/11. Not that really fucking means anything or matters, but all right.
They actually created the CVP1 voter app thing where they were, which is like where they would literally fly people in. It's not like like at the point at which people are being flown in at your expense.
Sending planes.
How does our federal government just give money to people that are not citizens? That is unreal, bro.
Pick people up,
doesn't
fly
matter.
them over the border.
Yeah, they're literally flying them in.
No other country in the world would do something like this. Nobody is this stupid.
Yeah, and then we found that it was like $100 million contract given to some guy in London, actually, oddly enough, for the CVP1 app. So they're flying illegals into the swing states.
Yeah.
And if you've got like a margin of victory of maybe 20,000 people, and you fly 200,000 illegals into that state, it's not going to be a swing state for long.
Change the numbers eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe in 4 or 8 years, you're talking about
It's
perpetual
just a matter
power.
of time.
It's a long game.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So it might take like a year for an asylum seeker or something to get a green card, and then 5 years for the citizenship. It's an investment that is guaranteed to pay off.
Yeah.
Just a question of when.
They all remember who brought them in and who left them here.
Exactly.
Exactly. I want to go back. I want to talk about Biden.
This is a big deal. Like I think a lot of people don't quite appreciate that this was an actual, real scam at scale to tilt the scales of democracy in America.
It's treasonous.
Treason.
Yeah. One more Biden question. I remember when.
That's a big claim.
When they would do the electric car stuff, they would always try to box you out.
The people on the left say the same thing about Trump and Elon, though. So it's just like two little kids that are fighting over the lollipop, and both of them are blaming the other one. Or like, what's a better comparison? It'd be like if two kids were fighting over a cake or a cookie or whatever, and they jerked it from each other, and it dropped on the ground and ruined it, and then they're both tattling to the mom that it was the other one's fault. It's like, Dude, it's both. There's no grand conspiracy here. Who took the cookie out the cookie jar? I took the cookie out the cookie jar.
Even though you have the only electric car anybody wants.
Yeah.
You said, I think this week, that you think that Biden left these astronauts up in space because he didn't want to give you an opportunity to save them, make NASA look bad, make the private sector look better, make you look good. You believe that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, of course.
I kind of agree. Why would he want to let you help them come down when you're supporting the president?
No, I mean, the Biden administration was attacking me next level.
Yeah.
I mean, the Department of Justice or Injustice under the Biden administration was, I mean, they were suing SpaceX. They were suing SpaceX for not hiring asylum seekers. And we're like, but it's actually illegal for us to hire asylum seekers because rocket technology is covered under ITAR rules, which means it's an advanced weapons technology.
Yeah.
And so we can only hire permanent residents or or citizens.
Right.
Like, so we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. We said, like, so how can they sue us for not hiring asylum seekers when it's actually illegal for us to do so? But nonetheless, there was a big Department of Justice or Injustice case about this against SpaceX. So obviously it was an antagonistic situation.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And those astronauts were supposed to be up there for 8 days, and now they're up there for 8 months. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, they're not stranded though, Neil. Up in space, where that woman had to spray what is it? Just hairspray to get her hair to stand up like that? Come on, dude.
And we obviously could have brought them back sooner, but they didn't want anyone who supported President Trump to look good, basically.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Shit, look good. Let's see if anyone got in the chat. Nope. All right, I'm almost done with this one, and then we can move on to Trump and the French guy. I believe it's the prime minister.
A lot of them are saying right now that the reason that you want to get into Social Security, that you want to get into all of these different, into Treasury and things like that, is that you're looking for personal information and you're trying to make more money.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody as rich as you that cared less about money in my life. Every time I hear a story about you, you're sleeping on a couch of some other guy in a city that you could buy the entire thing.
Yeah,
I don't think you care about money, do you?
No, actually, I mean, listen, like, if I steal some Social Security, I can finally buy nice things.
Yeah.
You know?
And on that same question, they're also talking about you guys are going to end Social Security, you're going to end Medicare, you're going to end these things. I don't imagine that conversation has been had with the president, and that's the plan.
No, in fact, the actions that we're taking with the support of the president and the support of the agencies is what will save Medicare, what will save Social Security.
Yeah.
And because if the country goes insolvent, if all the money is just spent on paying interest on debt, there's no money left for anything.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I'm doing this, is because I was looking at the big picture here, and it's like, man, our debt's getting out of control. The interest payments, the interest on the national debt now exceeds the entire Defense Department budget.
$1 trillion a year in
Yes.
interest, just to carry the money that we owe is $1 trillion a year.
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
And rising rapidly. So like, I mean, a country's no different from a person. Country overspends, country goes back.
I thought our national debt was like, what? Didn't I look that up the other day and put it in a video? I feel like I did. Whenever I feel like I searched it up and put it in the Bernie video. Let me see. U.S. national debt. It's 35 trillion. Why did I feel like it was less than that? And I feel like that's not what I put in my video. I look like a fucking clown. Damn. I wonder what number I researched and put up. I should have took a screenshot of my Google search and put it in there. That way, even if I've looked up and put the wrong thing, you can see what it was instead of me just typing it out. Lesson learned for the future.
Bankrupt. Same as a person who overspends goes bankrupt. So it's
not. I put up like Elon, the amount he had gained since Trump being in office, and then I put like what I thought was the U.S. national debt, but I think the number I put for the debt was like way too small.
Not like optional to solve these things. It's essential. So
we're going to go bankrupt.
Yes,
we are. Couple minutes left here. Russia. There's a huge push from this
administration. People like sometimes like
to end this war.
Say like, you know, I'm a bought asset of Putin.
Yeah.
I'm like, he can't afford me.
I think you're worth more than Russia.
Think about it.
And then he took a drink of that water like it was a shot.
So you're trying to end a war. Ending a war always means you have to compromise, you have to negotiate with an enemy or an adversary. That's just what it is. And right now, they are lambasting the president for trying a different method to a war that they haven't been able to end for 3.5 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
They're saying Trump's blaming Zelensky for the invasion. How do you process all of the negativity toward him for trying to end this war?
Well, first of all, I think we should have empathy for the people dying at the front lines. That's the most important thing. And people have been dying.
I don't really care. Well, he might say something.
You know, it's like, how many more years is this supposed to go on?
Yeah.
And imagine if that was your son, your father. You know, what are they dying for?
Yeah.
What exactly are they dying for? That line the line of engagement has barely moved for 2 years.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people dead in trenches for what? And I'll tell you what for what. It's like for the biggest graft machine that I've ever seen in my life. That's for what? It's unreal. Like the amount of money that is being taken in graft and bribery is disgusting. And so what's actually happening is that those you know, those poor guys are getting sent into a meat grinder for money. That's what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop.
And it seems, I mean, Trump is so pragmatic on this.
Isn't that all war ever is every time?
He's just looking at it and he's saying, it's Ukraine, it's not our country, it's not a NATO ally. I just want to see people not dying. I want to see on both sides. I mean, think about how many young...
I think there might be something more to war than that. It seems like every time we have a big war, a lot of people die, but it almost could be a sacrifice because then we get a bunch of technology and that leads to like more harm than good ultimately. I bet we're going to see a real big jump in technology after all this killing.
So many young men have died in Ukraine that the army is starting to age out. The military is aging out. You got 40 and 50-year-old guys fighting in a war because there's nobody left that's not killed or maimed in their 20s.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. Think about how many people that is. If you're a humanitarian at all, you just got to end the war. Like, no matter what. Just get it over with.
Yes. People, they need to stop dying. And the grift machine's got to stop, you know? So, and I think people... a lot of people out there don't realize, like, the president has a lot of empathy. He really cares, you know? He's a good man. So...
I got one more for you. I've been fascinated by you for a very long time.
Thanks.
I've never seen anybody that can, do so many things at the same time. I mean, you've got the rockets, you got the cars. I've always wanted to ask you, what is it like inside your mind? Like, is it just 1,000 miles an hour? I mean, are you...
Yeah.
Is it just not... I mean, does it ever stop? Do you sleep? How much do you sleep? Paint us a picture of inside of the mind of a genius. Like, how do you do all this? Can you answer that question? It's not an easy question. Yeah.
I mean, my mind is a storm.
Yeah.
So... It's a storm.
Yeah, not peaceful, is it?
But, I mean, let me maybe tell you something. Like, you didn't ask the question, but I think it's worth, and nonetheless, maybe just elaborating on something, which is, I grew up in South Africa, but my morality was informed by America. I read comic books, played Dungeons and Dragons, and I watched American TV shows, and it seemed like America cared about being the good guys, you know, about doing the right thing. And that's actually pretty unusual, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like
in the world, it's very unusual.
Yeah, it's not like actually.
Most countries don't do that.
No, they don't.
No.
And so I was like, yeah.
Do people still care about being the good guy, or do they just care about getting rich? Only when the money's all gone, you'll see that it really never was ever worth what you thought it was. It's next to meaningless. It's like in America, people don't even care about being the good person anymore. They just care about money, 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 money. Well, guess what? There's a thing called a pyramid scheme. And there's a thing where the people at the top, the closer you get to the top, the more money is at the top and the less people that are up there. And then at the bottom, you have all the people with the least amount of money. So it goes like this. Even in America, it's a pyramid scheme. People at the top, like Elon and Bezos and Zuckerberg and whoever, the few, very few, have all the fucking money. And then the lower down it goes, the more people there are, and the way less money there is. So there's no grand conspiracy. No need to think that. Dark MAGA, SpaceX, X, fucking Tesla. Go fuck yourself.
You know, you want to be this good. You want to be on the side of good. You want to care about what's right, and
do you, or are you just saying that?
Yeah. So that's yeah, what I believe in. You know. So.
I don't believe that for a second. Says one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest. Yeah, it's about being a good guy and doing what's right. It's like, yeah, right. Is that how you made all that fucking money?
Going to lift the block on the 300 billion. Is France going to lift the block on the 300 billion?
Look.
Hold on. Damn, he's already getting crooked. Man, I feel like I gotta sneeze. Man, that was gross. Sorry I had to do that on camera.
If we do this deal, he's not looking for more war. He doesn't mind, but I specifically asked him that question. He has no problem with it.
Is France going to lift the block on the 300 billion in frozen Russian assets in Belgium? France has opposed unfreezing it to pay Ukraine and compensate the U.S. for its support. Is France going to lift its opposition to that?
This is, we speak about frozen assets. We already used them to back precisely the loans negotiated at the G7. And it's part of the sanctions, so it will depend on the follow-up of the discussions. But clearly, we respect international law. It's just frozen assets now. You can take the proceeds of the frozen assets, but you cannot take the assets themselves because it's not respecting international law, and we want to respect international law.
How is one different than the other? If you can take the proceeds from it, how can you not take
Because it's very different. You keep the assets, you take the proceeds because they are paralyzed in a certain way. You take the proceeds during the wartime. But you keep the assets, and it's part of the negotiation at the end of the war. Because, this war costed all of us a lot of money. And this is the responsibility of Russia, because the aggressor is Russia.
Should the US be compensated?
So at the end of the day, this frozen asset should be part of the negotiation, all in all.
Will France support the US being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated, because they are the ones to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid. We paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear, we have 230 billion frozen assets.
Oh, Trump doesn't agree with that. He just he doesn't agree. And that guy stopped him. He probably did not like that.
Is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid. We paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia will have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
if they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But that's only fair.
Mr. President, do you think Russia should be?
I'll believe that if you want. But they get their money back, and now we do too. He couldn't take it. All right, that's probably a good spot to end it. Little hour and a half stream. If it's much longer than that, people probably won't watch the rebroadcast anyway. Especially without me having some like real banger type content lined up. But sometimes I had seen part of the one video, but yeah, most of it was pretty spontaneous reactions, which I've echoed many times on the channel. I kind of want to. It's hard because like I'll see videos on YouTube and I want to like watch them to see if they'll be good for the channel, and then it kind of takes away that first reaction type of interaction, I guess to say. And but anyway, I think a pretty good stream overall. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of any of the topics. Agree with me, disagree, have your own thoughts for sure. Comment, let me know. I've said it a couple times. I always say it. If you have anything that you want me to talk about or any idea topics, comment in the description or in the comments. Leave a comment what you want me to talk about, or if you saw like a current thing that you want to discuss or a detail about it or whatever. And if you like the streams, if you like the videos, let me know what you prefer. The video where I can like edit stuff and put stuff in, and maybe it's like a more bit concise. Let me know if y'all like the pre-release videos or if y'all like the live streams more. And yeah, if you like it, if you fuck with any part of it, let me know. Tell somebody you know, share it. And I guess until next time, I'm